Hello, everyone. All right, we're going to be starting lesson 23 in journeys this week. So we need to go with the vocab. So let's get started. First word is resources. So the sentence says trees and forests are among the Earth's valuable resources or supplies. Okay, remember a lot of times sentences, especially the ones on these cards, will give us clues or the actual meaning to what some words are. So in this case, the sentence does. Resources are an available supply of something that can be used when needed. So if you have access to resources, it just means that you have things that are available to you that you can use. Okay, like you might have, you might say that there are resources available to you in school. There's, if you need to study a subject, so there's books, there's the internet, there's lots of resources, ways you can get that supply of information. Okay, but it doesn't have to be that too. It could be the natural resources like air and water, and dirt and trees. Those are all natural resources. So resources are just an available supply of something that you can access, that you can get when you need it. Okay, the next word is dense. Roots grow from a banyan tree's branches like a thick, dense forest. Okay, so you can kind of see a picture here that kept showing you kind of what dense might mean. And what that means is something that is dense has its parts packed together closely. So see how these branches are very, very, very close together. They're thick and they're close together. So it's kind of like hard to get through. So that would be dense. Dense is something that is thick and has parts packed together closely. Okay, number 3, evaporate. Some of you might remember this from when we did science this year. The broad leaves of some trees let water evaporate easily into the air. Okay, you can see the water droplets here on the leaves. So evaporate is when liquids evaporate, they become gases. So it's the process when water turns into a gas, like a water vapor. Okay. Shallow, number 4. Some trees have shallow roots. The roots don't go deep into the ground. Some of you might know the word shallow, like if you've ever been to a swimming pool, there's usually a shallow end and a deep end. So what do you think shallow might mean? So if something is shallow, it's not deep, okay? You can dig a shallow hole, which means it doesn't go far into the ground. We talked about a swimming pool having a shallow part and a deep part, okay? So shallow is the opposite of deep. It's just not deep at all. Number 5, moisture. Over half the world's species live in the rainforests, helped by the moisture or wetness. Okay, so what is moisture? Moisture is just tiny drops of water in the air or on a surface are moisture. So moisture is just something that has a wet feeling to it. Okay, it may not mean like it's not like a puddle of water. That wouldn't be considered moisture, but sometimes like a water bottle, for example, right? In the summer, if this was cold and it was really hot outside, it might get some condensation on the outside, and it might become moist. There's some like, wetness around it. Okay, that's moisture. Sometimes you might see the moisture on maybe like a window. From whether it be from rain or whatnot, but there is some moisture. So moisture is just this like wet feeling, and it's tiny drops of water in the air or on a surface. So really, really small amount of water. Civilized. Most civilized or advanced cities set aside places for trees to grow. And this is, if you don't know, this is Central Park in New York City. Okay, so civilized, that means a civilized society is advanced, meaning they have, big cities, advanced technologies that we have access to, and has reasonable laws. Okay, so something that is civilized means it's advanced with reasonable laws. Number 7, continent. The continent of North America has the world's tallest trees. Coast redwoods. We live in North America. Our country is America, the United States of America, but we live on a whole continent of 3 countries: Canada, United States, and Mexico. And this is all a part of North America. Okay. So what is it? A continent is one of the main land masses of Earth. That's it. Okay. Okay, so a continent is just one of these large land masses, and there are 7 continents on Earth. Number 8, opportunities. A forest offers many opportunities or chances for a career or volunteer work. Okay, so if you have an opportunity, if you have opportunities, it means there are chances for you to do something. So opportunities are just chances that you are given to be able to do something. Okay, number 9, customs. Some human customs, such as the practice of clearing trees, are ruining many forests. So customs, basically what that means is just a certain way that we behave in a society. Similar to like traditions that you might have in a family, you might have customs and traditions, things that you do on a regular basis, or how you celebrate certain holidays could be customs. So customs are just the ways of behaving in a society. And lastly, number 10, people cannot be independent from trees. We need the oxygen trees provide. Okay, so if you are independent of something, you don't rely on that thing. If you are independent, you are able to do it by yourself. The opposite would be dependent. We are dependent on trees, right? So this says people cannot be independent from trees. We need trees because they give us oxygen, right? So if you're independent, means you could do something on your own. You don't need help with it. But if you're dependent, you need help, okay? And that's it for our words. If you have any questions, let me know. Remember to do your matching activity right after this, and let us know if you have any questions. Bye.